The Wrestling Forum. Hello, friends. It's Ridiculously Over Anthony Floyer here with you once again for the Go Home edition of TLC Monday Night Raw. That's what we're going to do here tonight here on the Wrestling Forum. Joined as always by my partners in crime, the Cerebral Viper, Michael Fletcher, the Phenom, Michael Bullock. I'll tell you what, the last couple of weeks on Monday Night Raw have been very bad, especially last week. Tonight, well, it was a different story here tonight. So, needless to say, I think we're going to be going much higher than what we had a week ago. So, yeah, a much better show, to say the very least. So, with that said, let's dive right in. Monday Night Raw is live tonight from the North Charleston Coliseum in Charleston, South Carolina, on the USA Network, of course. Like I said, the TLC edition of Monday Night Raw, as the TLC pay-per-view will be live this Sunday night from the TD Garden in Boston, Massachusetts. We'll get into that this weekend, but for right now, let's dive right in. And we're going to start it off with a 2-for-1 segment. You know how much we love our 2-for-1 segments. We get to kill two segments with one little moment right here. We started it, an in-ring segment. We had the League of Nations, Sheamus, Alberto Del Rio, King Barrett, and Rusev. They were in the ring. And then they get interrupted by, of all people, the Wyatt family. Oh, wait, there's more. Out comes the newly cemented Team Extreme, Team ECW, the Dudley Boys, with Tommy Dreamer, and the returning Man Beast, 275-pound Man Beast from Detroit, Michigan, Rhino, Mr. Gore himself. And then, wait, yes, there is more. Bring out Roman Reigns, Dean Ambrose, and the Usos. And then what do we get after that? Oh, not much. Just a fatal four-way, 16-man tag team elimination matchup. Very similar to what we saw with the Divas back at SummerSlam. You remember we had that 3-team, 9-diva elimination match? Well, this was a 4-team, 16-man elimination match. Same rules apply. Man, oh man. A lot to digest, I know. And then, what happens here? The time, of course, when it comes to the elimination match, it would be about 5 minutes into the match. Tommy Dreamer eliminates Wyatt family member Eric Rowan with a Dreamer DDT. And then at the 11-minute and 30-second mark, Bubba Ray Dudley of Team ECW was eliminated by the WWE World Heavyweight Champion Sheamus with a Brogue Kick. And then at the very end, it was the Roman Reigns team that gets the win thanks to Roman Reigns spearing Sheamus and pinning Sheamus. So the winners of this 16-man, 4-way elimination match, Roman Reigns, Dean Ambrose, and the Usos, 20 minutes and 40 seconds, the time of the fall for that match. Wow. Okay. I'll say it like this. It's one of the segments of the night. I mean, I'll tell you what. The segment, it's a toss-up because there were two segments that really stood out to me. This was one of them. The other one we'll get into shortly. The match, I feel the same way about the match. There were two matches on this show that really stood out, and this match was one of them. It's very close. I really don't know which one I can put over more. I can honestly say it was co-segment of the night because this segment was just really good. Because, you know, the League of Nations doing their thing, and then the Wyatts come out, and we thought for a minute they were possibly teasing a possible face turn for the Wyatt family. How interesting would that have been if they had had the Wyatts and the League of Nations in a feud? That would have been very interesting. and then all of a sudden they bring out the Dudleys and Tommy Dreamer, and then the returning Rhino, and then we get Roman and his crew out there with Ambrose and the Usos. That was just a fun segment. That was a wild segment. It was a fun segment. As for the match, like I said, it's between this match and another match that we're going to get into in a bit. As far as Fight of the Night is concerned, this is definitely, it's between Fight of the Night and second best Fight of the Night. I mean, it's very tough because two matches really stood out, and this match was one of them. I really don't know how to rank it. Maybe you guys have a better idea, but for me, I'm torn. I can honestly, as of right now, I could say co-Fight of the Night. I'm actually going to give this a solid 4 to 4.25 stars because this was a fantastic opening match. I mean, the action was hot and heavy, some great near falls. Definitely we definitely had a bit of some Shakespearean drama in this one. I mean, I knew it was going to come down to Team Roman against League of Nations. You knew it was going to come down to it, but I kind of thought League of Nations was going to go over a little bit. But with the Roman team going over, you have to believe, according to the old Booking 101, you have to believe that Sheamus is going to go over at TLC and successfully defend the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. So that's just the way I feel about it. For right now, I'm going to rate it as co-segment of the night for the segment and co-fight of the night, 4 to 4.25 stars. Just absolutely incredible. These two segments, the segment and the match, these two alone were far and away better than the entire Monday Night Raw show from last week combined. It's as simple as that. Phenom, Michael Bullock. We talked about this match. We watched this match. So I ask you, sir, your thoughts on the segment as well as the match itself. Unbelievable.
Yeah, of course. Hello, friends. This is the Phenom, Mike Bullock here for another edition of the Wrestling Forum. Of course, delighted to be here as always on this Monday night. Yeah, I'll have to say this was the co-segment of the night. I mean, I thought this was really good. I mean, you had, of course, the League of Nations out there doing their thing, and there was even a chant of USA chant for Del Rio, and then of course there was a "You look stupid" chant, and then of course basically saying there are no four men that can match the League of Nations because they're the best of the best of the best, and then, well, lights go out, come back on, and out is the Wyatt family, and I was like, what? This is the last team I expected to be out here, and basically saying, you know what? He basically, of course, introduces the League of Nations to, of course, himself and his brothers, and they don't care about their nations, and that this is his world, and he's just allowing them to breathe in it. And Bray says, of course, then they come out here and talk about dominance, but the Wyatts, they don't come here to talk. They come here for chaos. And then out comes the Dudley Boys and Tommy Dreamer and say, you know what? We'll see your chaos, and we'll raise it to the extreme. And then Vaughn basically, you know what? When you're extreme, you don't die, you multiply. And who comes out? The man beast, Rhino, the master of the Gar, 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 as Paul Heyman would say about Rhino. And then they come to the ring, and then out comes Roman Reigns, Dean Ambrose, and the Usos, and wow, I mean, this was just awesome here. And then as far as the Sorry. As far as the 16-man fatal four-way tag team elimination match, I'm going to say it's an even 4 stars. I mean, you did have a little bit of Shakespearean drama, and the match was definitely good. And so, yeah, I mean, this was definitely one of the fights of the night. I love the action here from both participants. Of course, the Wyatt family gets eliminated first, and then of course the Dudley Boys, Rhino, and Tommy Dreamer are the next ones to get eliminated. So we're left with the League of Nations and Roman Reigns, Dean Ambrose, and the Usos, and then after it's all said and done, at the end of the match, of course, Sheamus mocks his Roman Reigns Superman taunt, and looks like he's going for the brogue kick. Reigns hits the spear and gets the win. So, but of course, you know the booking 101 when it comes to this. You know Sheamus is walking out the WWE World Heavyweight Champion. So 4 stars is my rating for the match. So with that being said, I'm going to toss it up now to our resident Viper, Mike Fletcher, for his thoughts on the segment and, of course, the opening match. So, with that being said, Fletcher, I give it to you.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Long time no see, about a couple of hours. No, I kind of agree with what you guys are saying. I kind of understand where you're coming from, for the most part. As far as the fight goes, I could give it about 3.5 stars. I mean, and Anthony, there is no debate, at least in my mind. This was the second best fight of the night. There was one that was absolutely better. I know you got that 1A, 1B thing going, but for me, this was clear cut, the number 2. The number 1 we're going to be getting into in just a matter of minutes, and Michael Bullock will be leading off, oddly enough. So, no, but I liked the storyline. I liked how they started it out. You know, the League of Nations was trying to say that, oh, they were the alpha dogs, you know, because of the fact that, look at everything that has happened for them in their careers, you know, how they're primarily better than everybody else in WWE. Well, the Wyatts disagreed with that, and then behind that, Team Extreme, well, the ECW originals, decided that, hey, wait a minute, you ain't that bad, you know, because you haven't went through the land of the Extreme. And then, of course, we had Roman Reigns and his cohorts of posse. So, I mean, it was so unique and so awesome with every bound and everything. And then you lead yourself into that 4-corner match, and it was so different from anything we've seen in the past. And that's why I was like, oh my goodness. Once that happened, holy cow, I really enjoyed this. I really thought this was a very good match. But, you know, Team Romans does get the win, so they do get the momentum going to TLC in Boston. But at the end of the day, I mean, it was a solid fight. But I can only give it 3.5 stars because, like I said, there was one fight that was even better than this, and we're about to get into it right now. So, Anthony, it is yours.
All right. Yeah. So all right, we talked about that. All right, now it's time for our next match. Well, and we thought you thought that was good. Ho ho. It's just about to get better. The show off, Dolph Ziggler, 1-on-1 with Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion Kevin Owens. The winner of the match in 19 minutes and 5 seconds via the pop-up powerbomb. It was the Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion, Kevin Owens. Michael Bullock, we talked about this. We watched this match. We were blown away by this match. We even talked about, you know, one of Kevin Owens' infamous matches from the Ring of Honor that I know Michael Fletcher knows very well. A certain ladder war that he had with Mr. El Generico. So, yeah, and only because of one of the sickest bumps you will ever see in professional wrestling, by the way. So Michael Bullock, your thoughts on all that?
Well, all I can say is this is definitely the fight of the night here. Uh, this was just an unbelievable match, and I'm going to give it 4.25 to 4.5 stars. This was just unreal. I mean, and this was even better than that 16 team fatal 4-way elimination match. And I mean, we all know the bodies of work of both of these men. I mean, they're both really good. Dolph Ziggler, and of course, same can be said for Kevin Owens. And the Shakespearean drama in this match was absolutely spot on. I mean, all that back and forth action, and from super kick to super kick, and of course, Kevin Owens basically, of course, well, first Dolph Ziggler hits the Famouser, and I'm like thinking, that's it, the match is over, and then no, and then of course, a super kick by back and forth by both of them, and we thought Dolph was going to get the win. Nope, that doesn't happen, and then of course, Owens basically hits the pop-up powerbomb, 1, 2, 3, and man, great job by both men. Both men did a tremendous job in this match. I mean, and then of course after that, Dean Ambrose, well, he comes out with the popcorn and soda, and Owens is basically yelling at him for his music to be played, and then, well, afterwards, Dean Ambrose tosses the popcorn and soda into him.
But like, oh boy, it looks like we lost him. Tony, are you there?
Technical difficulties here on the Wrestling Forum. Michael Fletcher takes over.
All right. um, hopefully Bullock will get back momentarily. I think like you said, I think it was just the mic probably just went out on his end. But I do agree with them. 4.5 stars, without a doubt. Fight of the night, hands down. This was absolutely amazing. The match just was thrilling. I think everything just delivered on so many fronts, so many levels, and I could not be any more happier with this fight. Kevin Owens and Dolph Ziggler gave us a fight to remember, and it is what it is. We always say, you never doubt or you never think that one thing can happen over another, and then they just deliver what was an absolute masterpiece, a master class, and for once, WWE gets this right. I mean, is it me, or did Triple H take over the show tonight? Did he have his finger on the pulse and not Vince McMahon? Because that's what I felt the first hour was all about. It felt like this was Triple H running the show and not Vince McMahon, because it was so damn good how this started out that I was thoroughly impressed, because I was coming in basically, I didn't have much hopes for this Monday Night Raw, to be real bluntly with you guys. I got off a very good RWA show, the Christmas Chaos, and I pretty much said it, that I was not looking forward to this Monday Night Raw because I thought we were going to get the same old garbage. And in 1 hour, one full hour of Monday Night Raw, you turned me around and you made me stay glued for the first hour, and I was thoroughly impressed with what they did. Two big fights, two fights that we easily could said that was even pay-per-view type quality matches, because this was not your typical Monday Night Raw match. They were pay-per-view quality fights, and that is actually a mark of a good thing. So, was it better? Did things get better? You'll just have to wait and find out. But 4.5 stars for this fight. The fight of the night for me. Florio, go.
Bullock, are you back in?
Yeah, I'm back in.
All right, what happened to you? Little glitch
Well,
there?
for some reason, it froze up on me.
Oh, okay. Did you
Uh,
lose?
that yeah, that has happened before.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So did you?
everything was working fine. It's just that, the screen basically froze up. I was able to get out and get back in, but strange.
Did you want to finish your trade of thought, or you're all set?
Oh, I'm all set.
Okay. All right. I'll take it. All right. I'll take it now. Well, I've had a little time to think, and you guys made some very compelling arguments, and after careful consideration, I think I'm going to agree with you guys. I think I will give that opening match the second best fight of the night honors. I'll give that about 3.5, 3.5 to 4 on that count. 4.25. I think a solid 4.25 for this one. I think 4.5 is a little smidgen overscoring, just by a smidge, but I agree with 4.25 though. This it's definitely the fight of the night. Dolph Ziggler and Kevin Owens. I told Michael Bullock going into when Michael Bullock told me about this match, I said, "Ooh, that could be really good," and it was really good. What a fantastic match between two outstanding talents. I mean, we know Dolph Ziggler's body of work. We know what the guy can do. For the last 6, 7 years, he's been unbelievable, and all the championships he's won and all he's accomplished. We all know his body of work. He's top notch. He's an IWC darling. Everyone knows that. Bullock and I may not know Kevin Owens' body of work as much as Michael Fletcher does, because Michael Fletcher, as we all know, is the authority when it comes to the Ring of Honor. I mean, that's one of his many Bibles when it comes to professional wrestling. And Bullock and I were actually talking about one of Kevin Owens' most famous ROH matches against El Generico, Sami Zayn, in a ladder war. Michael Fletcher, I know you remember that. The infamous bump that Owens did on Sami Zayn on the ladder in that match. We all remember it.
Are you talking about the package pile drive, the package pile driver through 2 ladders and basically decapitating El Generico? Yes, I think we all remember that. One of the most holy shit moments in all of Ring of Honor wrestling.
I saw that video, Night Fletch, and I was literally saying the same thing. Like, oh my goodness, that is sick.
Sicker
And
than what he did to him at NXT.
And I'll be quite honest. I'm surprised that El Generico, Sami Zayn didn't have a broken neck after something like that.
The thing is, guys, what Ring of Honor did is what sometimes professional wrestling cringes about. And that's the thing. That wasn't no PG stunt that you saw. That was just somebody, and they wanted to give the Hammerstein Ballroom, the Manhattan Center, that place in New York, some of the best things, and you saw it for your very eyes. And yeah, the fight was a 5-star classic, and probably is one of Ring of Honor's greatest fights of all time.
Indeed. So, yeah, I just definitely wanted to I just wanted to bring that up for a moment. But getting back to this, I mean, Owens and Ziggler, two very talented guys, both IWC studs. We all know that. And Kevin Owens goes over here, and then Dean Ambrose comes out and throws his popcorn and soda in the face of Kevin Owens. So, yeah, that definitely gave some good hype for their upcoming Intercontinental Heavyweight title bout at TLC. Ambrose and Owens will be going at it for the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship, which I think will definitely be a fight of the night contender for sure, based on that body of work. So, fantastic match to say the very least, and fight of the night. I think 4.5 is a little overscoring, but I can certainly understand where you guys are coming from on that. But I do agree, it's 4.25 stars at the absolute best. A fantastic match, Shakespearean drama at its finest. Great near falls, great action throughout. Crowd loved it, we loved it, and that's why we love these two guys. And I agree with Fletcher's sentiments. It was a pay-per-view quality bout, no doubt about it. So So just to recap, the opening match, the second best fight of the night, 3.5 stars, and then of course this right here, 4.25, 4.25 stars. I think is the best we can go with Kevin Owens and Dolph Ziggler. It definitely was the fight of the night, no doubt about it. So 2 fantastic matches to open up Monday Night Raw here tonight. So that's all there is to say about it. What a match. So now let's just move on. Now we have a couple of backstage things, and now here we go. Let's take a look at this. This is going to be very interesting. And it's only fitting that Michael Fletcher gets to start this off. Are you ready for some Hot Divas action? Oh yeah, we got ourselves some Hot Divas tag team action. The Boss, Sasha Banks, and Naomi, representing Team Bad, along with Tamina Snuka, going up against Team Bella's Brie Bella and Alicia Fox in a Diva tag match. The winners of the match in 5 minutes and 45 seconds. Yes, Fletch, your girl did it again. Well, it was even though it was Naomi who scored the winning fall with the rear view. Sasha Banks and Naomi win the match 5 minutes and 45 seconds, and then after the match, the Team Bad were joined by the tag team champions, the New Day, and oh boy, and then they had a nice little, a very interesting interaction, and it's only fitting that Michael Fletcher starts this off because we all know Michael Fletcher and his 2184 crew mentor, Bill McConnell. It's no secret that you and old man McConnell, Fletch, are both big fans of Sasha Banks, and I know it's not just because of the beauty that Sasha Banks possesses, but also because of her outstanding body of work from NXT to now. So, all right, Fletch. Now, your thoughts on the match and your thoughts on Sasha's little after the match.
Okay, let's. Okay, easy, Romeo. I know you're trying for me to go down that road, and let me just break it down piece by piece, and then I'll go there. First off, the fight itself, I could give it about maybe 1.5, 2 stars. I mean, it was a good match, no doubt about it. It was a decent fight. I mean, it did have some good interaction, good match. Not the greatest diva fight in the world, but hey, you got to give it a chance and say that it was solid. I'm not gonna knock it. I'm not gonna diss it. Let's talk about the big, and then at the end, Team Mad is there, and it's pretty cool. Big victory for them. And then, yes, oh, Team Bad, do not be sour. Clap for your 2-time reigning WWE Tag Team Champions and feel the power. So, New Day comes out with their little, I guess you could call it Pegasus unicorn horn, and that they're doing their thing. And I gotta say, I was thoroughly entertained. I don't know what it is, but if you guys know Facebook or you guys know social media, the New Day and Team Bad has been having these runoffs, these working together, funny skits, awesome stuff that they work together almost all the time. Sasha Banks works with Xavier Woods as part of the Up Up Down Down, which is a video gaming site that they normally do. It's on YouTube.com as well, by Xavier Woods. He's actually the host of that, and he brings a lot of WWE people, personalities to play video games, whatever. It could be Madden, could be Mortal Kombat, whatever. So there you go, Xavier. I hope you guys do get a chance to do that and check it out, and I hope you guys can tell them that, hey, the Wrestling Forum wants to give you guys the shout out and the whole 9 yards. So I mean, at the end of the day, yeah, it was a good thing. It was solid, but nothing to write home about. I know some people was thinking, "Oh God, I roll," this was a stupid thing. But for me, I don't mind it. I thought this was entertaining, and again, it kept the momentum going, at least in my eyes. So, with that said, like I said, 1.5 to 2 stars for the fight, but the interaction I thought was great, and I think it was well versed, well just. So with that said, Florio, go.
Yeah, I can only imagine. I mean, Fletch, of course, posted the video on his Facebook. I can only imagine what he was doing when Sasha had her little moment there at the end. But yeah, but that's a story for another day. But yeah, I'm actually going to give it a solid 2 stars for this effort. I mean, solid 2 stars for this Diva match. I mean, it was a well wrestled Divas match. Some good action in the time allotted. I'm not at all surprised that Team Bad went over here. Naomi gets the winning fall via the rear view. Yeah, so a very solid Diva tag team matchup here, and yeah, Team Bad, that based on their based on some of their vignettes as of late, that Team Bad was turning into the female version of the New Day because of that unity thing that they do. So it kind of reminded me of the New Day. So that's why I thought, they're turning into the female New Day, and then go figure. The actual New Day comes out. Go figure. So yeah, very interesting interaction. I know a lot of people loved that interaction with New Day and Team Bad, and yeah, very interesting to say the very least. I don't know if this was a one-time thing or if this is going to be more of a regular thing. We'll have to wait and see on that. So I'm glad to see Sasha and Naomi go over here because we all know these two young ladies both deserve in the near future to both be Divas champions someday. I still feel Naomi should have had at least one run with it. I think she would have had a run with it if Oksana didn't, botchamania her eye there. If it wasn't for that, I think Naomi would have had at least one run with the Divas Championship. Sasha Banks will definitely be a Divas Champion in 2016. I firmly believe that in my heart of hearts. I wouldn't be surprised if she's ultimately the one who dethrones Charlotte. That's just how I feel about it. Not sure when that day will come, but I do know one day in 2016, I think it will most likely be on a pay-per-view. Sasha Banks, you heard it first. Sasha Banks will be a future WWE Divas Champion. Believe that. Solid 2 stars for the effort. Very interesting interaction with New Day and Team Bad at the end. So with that said, Michael Bullock, your thoughts on this Diva tag team match that we saw earlier?
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a solid 2 stars as well. I mean, I thought the action was fine for what it was, and that in the short amount of time that we had, I mean, for this match, and yeah, I mean, I thought both combatants looked real good. I mean, especially Naomi and Sasha Banks, and yeah, of course, New Day basically come out and yeah, Florio and I definitely got into this, and they sort of like reminded us of that Team Bad. It's almost like a Divas version of the New Day. So, and how ironic that the New Day comes out and basically they start dancing, and I know Fletcher must have been smiling like a Cheshire cat when Sasha was dancing away. So yeah, there's really nothing more for me to say. So 2 stars for the effort. So I say, Florio, let's move on.
All right. Yeah, we're definitely going to be thinking about that tonight, no doubt about it. So with that said, we had ourselves a tag team match. We had the New Day, Kofi Kingston, Biggie Langston, Xavier Woods on the outside, going up against the Lucha Dragons. The winners of the match in 7 minutes and 15 seconds. Oh boy, the Lucha Dragons go over.
Lucha, Lucha, Lucha.
walked into that one. Oh boy.
Well,
That just made
you already knew it, Florio, when they won the match, as we were talking about it. You even said it. You were like, "Oh boy, Bullock and Fletcher are gonna
You boys have
go
been waiting.
lucha."
You boys have been waiting 3.5 months since SummerSlam for that. I know. Ever since I threw out the New Day rocks at you boys when we did the SummerSlam. But Luchas go over in 7 minutes and 15 seconds in this non-title matchup. Give it about 2.25 to 2.5 stars here for the effort. I mean, it was a solid tag team matchup here. Yeah, I mean, good action throughout. I mean, Usos were out there on commentary. They definitely had a hand with the finish there as Xavier Woods was playing his trombone right in front of the Usos. Usos had enough. They beat him down, and they took the trombone away. And then Sin Cara with a beautiful roll-up on Kofi Kingston gets the 1-2-3. And Bullock and I had a very funny commentary moment during this. I mean, we actually tried our hands at the commentary. And Michael Fletcher, this is something that you'd be very proud of. I channeled my inner Jesse Ventura from SummerSlam 1989, the interaction that he had with Tony Schiavone during one of the matches there. I believe it was during the Warrior Rude Intercontinental title match when he said, "You're even dumber than Monsoon." And I thought Gorilla was the stupidest guy on earth. We all remember that. I mean, how funny that moment was. Yeah. I did the exact same thing with Michael Bullock, and we had a lot of fun with that. And I'm like, and I thought MF was the stupidest guy on earth. You're even dumber than him. Oh, good grief. And then that roll up, man, was that fun? I tell you what. Yeah, and then doing the replay. Even though we didn't pull the tights, I did the infamous pulling the tights and getting the win, a la Jesse Ventura from WrestleMania 5. So I just thought I'd throw that out there for Fletch to ponder there, some food for thought. So, but nonetheless, back to serious business. I mean, a 2.25 to 2.5 star match. I thought it was a fine match for what it was, and I'm not at all surprised that the Luchas went over. And you want to give the Luchas some momentum, and you obviously want us to think of them as serious threats and viable threats to the New Day. Of course, it was announced earlier in the day, and Michael Bullock announced it to me when I saw him earlier for our infamous afternoon drive there. We said that he told me that the New Day, the Lucha Dragons, and the Usos triple threat match at TLC. It's not a basic triple threat match. First team to score a pin or submission wins. No, we're talking a triple threat ladder match, my friends. Can you imagine how freaking awesome this thing's gonna be in Boston on Sunday night? The high flying of the Luchas, the high flying of the Usos, Kofi with what he can do. I mean, yeah. I think I just sold you. I think I just sold all of you on that fight alone right there. So, 2.25 to 2.5 stars. Very solid tag team matchup here. But there's a part of me that thinks the New Day goes over in Boston. So with all that said, Michael Bullock, how do you follow that?
I don't know how you follow that, but I do agree. To me, it's about a 2.25 star match. I thought the action was fine, and obviously, like you said, you wanted to give the Luchas a little momentum going into this triple threat tag team title ladder match that's going to happen at TLC with the Luchas, the New Day, and the Usos. So, yeah, me and Florio definitely had some fun with the commentary, and he was channeling his inner Jesse Ventura. I did a little mixture, didn't I, Florio? I think I had a little Gorilla Monsoon, and I also did a little JR.
I think you even threw in a little Vince McMahon. I think you even threw in a little Vince McMahon, and maybe a sprinkle of Tony Schiavone too.
So I basically did a little bit of both. So yeah, of course the Luchas get the win thanks to a little help from Usos. Of course, they were beating up on Xavier Wood, who was playing that trombone in front of them. So yeah, really have nothing more to say except 2.25 stars. And Florio, I hate to do this to you again. I know you're not going to like it, but Fletcher, join me in saying this. Lucha, 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 Lucha. Lucha. I think you probably were Lucha out, Fletch. So
No, I just want
I
to.
don't blame you for not doing
No,
it. So
no. What it is I need to save my ammunition because I got a few things I want to talk about. So I definitely wanted it to save my energy, save my ammo.
oh,
So
all right, yeah,
that's why.
no problem. So so two and a well 2.25 stars. Like I said again. So now I give it to you, Fletch.
2.25, 2.5 is my rating for the fight. And the thing is that, like you said, yes, the Lucha Dragons does get the big win, and it does propel them to at least give some food for thought, or that maybe they might be in line for the next tag team title. You know, that they could be the next WWE Tag Team Champions. I think a lot of people may think not really, but you know, it's always good to see something like that. The Luchas get a big victory here, and a lot of fans were really happy with the victory. Some not so much, and I know I think it was Jason Powell who was saying, "Well, what is this? Does that mean that we now have a new are the Usos turning heel now?" And no, it's not that they're turning heel. It's just that it just didn't turn out. It was just something that happened. It was a bad night for the New Day, and I think a lot of people can agree. I think the New Day should find a way to win, one way or another, and I do believe they'll retain and successfully defend their tag team championship. But as far as this thing goes, like I said, I thought this was a solid fight. I think this was a good match. But nothing to really write home about. I mean, I could easily call this maybe the third, fourth best fight of the night, in my opinion. So, Anthony, it's yours.
Okay. Oh boy, here we go. What do we have coming up now? My. What do we have coming up here? Miz TV. Special guests, Charlotte and the Nature Boy, Ric Flair.
Woo! Woo!
Yeah. They were the special guests of The Miz on this edition event of Miz TV. Interrupted by Paige. So, Michael Bullock, I ask you your thoughts on this Miz TV segment. And oh boy, did we have a lot of fun with this when we talked earlier.
Yes. What can you say? I mean, I thought this was a real good segment here. Yeah, basically, of course, Charlotte starts off and introduce a legend, and then basically there was a little fun when she said, "You know what? You should pull a Tyra Banks and quit your own show." And she basically then introduces to the 16-time World Heavyweight Champion and the only 2-time WWE Hall of Famer and the greatest competitor to ever step foot in the ring. Yeah, so yes, and then of course, nice little back and forth with Miz and Charlotte, and of course Ric Flair. Of course, Rick saying how proud he is of Charlotte, and that she continues to grow confidence every day and learning how to live as a champion, and that he plans on Charlotte retain the title this Sunday. And of course, yes, the news comes out is that Paige will go at it again for the Divas title at TLC, and then the Miz basically says, the rumor mill, this new attitude of Charlotte, saying people called herself egotistical. And Charlotte's like, what's with the attack? She said, because I'll do what it takes to keep the title. And then, well, Charlotte basically, I feel sorry for your wife. Well, which is of course the former WWE Maurice, and yeah, I mean, yeah, and Miz basically moves his glasses. It's almost like it's like really, yeah, and then basically says, I know what you're trying to do, Charlotte, but changing the subject is not going to distract me. It's about you and your controversial win at Survivor Series. After all, you have remained silent, Charlotte. So what do you have to say in return? And then she says, you know what? Wait till Sunday. And you know what? The Flair's taught Charlotte well. Paige interfered with Charlotte's friendship with Becky Lynch. This is her form to respond to Paige, and she wants to turn it down. Why won't you answer me? And then Ric Flair stands up and says, you know what? We're not going to bump the ratings of this TV here. So, and then Miz basically brings up, you know what? What about what Paige said? How Flair is an old old man hogging the spotlight, and the only reason Charlotte is here because of Ric Flair. And then Charlotte, this raises the ire. Charlotte basically saying that the only lower on the food chain than Miz is that backstabbing, two-faced, gothic piece of trash, referring to Charlotte. I mean, not Charlotte, referring to Paige. That Paige not to worry because I'm going to destroy her for everything that she said about me and the family. And Paige will be lucky after today. And then, like, I'm so glad you said that because Paige is here. And then comes up and and Flair basically tells her that this is a ploy to upset her. And Paige basically taps his shoulder and then gives Ric Flair a bitch slap, and then you saw the look on Ric Flair's face saying, "Get her!" And Charlotte comes, and it is on. So, man, this was a crazy segment here, and this was another one of the. So, Fletcher, your thoughts on this TV segment with Charlotte and Ric Flair?
I have to admit, guys, one of the better Miz TV segments we've had in a while. And I gotta tell you, I think WWE really hit a home run here tonight. They finally established Charlotte Flair as a heel. They're trying to make her as a heel, and she's trying to say, look, I did what I had to do like anybody else. And I loved how The Miz was trying to push her to admit that, hey, you are turning as a heel. You are looking for trouble. You are trying to start things and do things that probably wasn't, you know, initially in that realm or whatever. And to me, I think they finally have done something really good, and I loved what we saw, and I loved the storyline. I love what they brought to the table, and not only that, but I really liked the Miz in this. I loved how he was trying to push those questions and the whole 9 yards, and trying to be, he was trying to nail down and show that heel type attitude and the whole 9 yards. And for me, excuse me, and for me, I think they did a great job, and it worked. It worked. It delivered. I felt I felt that heel-like connection for Charlotte. And not only that, but it also worked because to have Ric Flair there, he's trying to manipulate, trying to say that, hey, you're not going to make me fall for the trap. She's too good. She's too smart for that. I know it better. She's with she's with me. I'm grooming her to be the next, what a Flair is. That is the, well, limousine riding, jet flying. Now, for Charlotte's case, man stealing, wheelie dealing son of a gun. So, for, I mean, it looks like you're looking at definitely the leader of the Four Horsewomen trying to embrace that dark side that Ric Flair has been notorious for. Well done. They delivered it and then some. Florio, it's yours.
This was the segment of the night for me. I mean, of course, I'm going to be biased about it because we all know how much of a Flair mark I am. Not just Ric Flair, obviously. I mean, we all know when it comes to our version of the Four Horsemen, I'm him. Everybody knows that. But whereas Michael Fletch is the Arn Anderson and Derek Ferrera is the Ole Anderson, and it would kind of make Michael Bullock the Tully Blanchard of the group, even though I think of him as more of the Sting when Sting was in the Four Horsemen, as we all know, for that brief period of time, as everybody remembers. But nonetheless, Ric Flair was great as always, but Charlotte, man. You guys know the love affair I have with this young lady. Everybody knows that. I mean, my love affair for her just went up to a whole new level here tonight. I mean, I can honestly say that was Charlotte's personal best mic work since coming to the main roster. That was just absolutely phenomenal. Fantastic. I mean, she was such a natural heel in NXT when she was a part of, Team BF, the BFFs with Sasha Banks and Summer Rae. We all know when she was a part of that group how notorious they were. We're starting to see that Charlotte Flair again. And quite frankly, I like it, I love it, and I want some more of it. I don't think there's anything else I have to say. So, fantastic stuff. And, of course, we're going to see her and Paige yet again at TLC Sunday night for the Divas Championship. And let me just say it like this. You thought the match at Survivor Series and the night after were good? This one could be just as good, if not better. Who knows? And one other caveat, Ric Flair, my man, he's going to be there. He's going to be there in Boston on Sunday night. Believe that. And quite frankly, I can't wait to see that. So, oh, my man, the Nate. How fun has it been to see Nate over these last few weeks? Just awesome. And me being the Flair mark that I am, and always have been, and always will be. I for one cannot tell you guys how much I am marking like a freaking crazy man. Seeing my all-time man right there. To see him and his beautiful daughter doing their thing, I love it. So, I thank Tim McGraw for the inspiration for that. Of course, like it, love it, want some more of it. That's one of my favorites, and I know it's a favorite for all of us here. So, fantastic. So, segment of the night. That's all there is to say about it. Everybody was great. Miz was great. I liked the shot that Charlotte took at Maurice. I thought that was pretty cool. I mean, I know there were some rumblings about Maurice possibly returning to the WWE, but I know that's probably never going to happen. As much as I would love to see Maurice back, I mean, you want to talk about mark-out moments? That's another mark-out moment for me right there, because Michael Fletcher, you know more than anybody how hard I felt for that Canadian beauty. No doubt about that. So, oh boy. So that's all there is to say about that. So, segment of the night. I could go on and on about it, but I don't want to waste any time. So, let's just move on. Yeah, I mean, even though I don't know how to move on after that awesome segment, but we're going to do our best. We got ourselves a return match from last week. The big guy, Ryback, Feed Me More, going up against the Bulgarian brute Rusev, accompanied by the beautiful Lana, the ravishing Russian. Yep, we got another. Well, this time it wasn't Ryback winning via a countout. This time it ends in a double countout. Double countout, 10 minutes and 15 seconds. I believe Michael Fletcher is the first one up on this. So, MF, I ask you, Ryback and Rusev, was it better than last week, or was it still rather meh in your eyes?
Actually, a lot better. I'm gonna surprise a few people here. 2 stars. I gotta give this a 2-star fight. I think this was actually a decent fight. Yeah, the double countout's probably not the best way to win it, but it is what it is, and I'll give credit where credit's due. But I thought this was an entertaining fight. I thought this was good enough, at least in my eyes. So, yeah, 2 stars. I'll make it short and sweet. Florio, it's yours.
Initially, I was going to give it 2.5 stars. I think the fight was 2.5 stars, but because of the double countout finish, I'm going to drop it down to a solid 2.25 stars, because it was definitely a lot better than last week. Last week was an absolute dud. I mean, that thing was just awful from start to finish. This time around, great action. There was definitely a smidge of Shakespearean drama. Not a whole lot, but there was some Shakespearean drama there. I mean, it was great. Lana looked amazing. That's all there is to say about that. But here's the thing. I'm not surprised Michael Fletcher didn't mention this or go into detail about this, but I'm going to. There was one spot in this match, and Michael Bullock, you know where I'm going with this because you heard me gushing over this when we talked about this fight.
Oh, yeah.
Fletch, I'm sure you saw it too. Did you notice Ryback flying over the top rope like he was Rey Mysterio, for goodness sakes? Like he was a cruiserweight?
Look at this.
Look at this. Or in your case, look at this, when you do the commentary, which is always epic, to say the very least. But
yeah, it's a little late. It's a little late in the evening. I'm not pulling it out. I hardly don't even have the voice left to do it.
I know, but yeah, that's why I did it for you. But nonetheless, Ryback, 291-pounder. He flew over the top rope like he was a cruiserweight, like he was a Rey Mysterio, like he was an Eddie Guerrero, God rest his soul, like he was a Psychosis, a La Parka, a Juventud Guerrera, for goodness sakes. Dean Malenko. I mean, I could go on and on and on about all those legendary cruiserweights and all those epic battles in WCW. One of the many reasons why WCW kicked Raw's behind for 84 weeks in a row was because of it wasn't just the NWO. Oh no, it was the cruiserweights, folks. They made that show just as fun to watch. And Ryback was flying over the top rope like he was one of them. He must have probably watched some old school video of those. Maybe he's got a subscription to the WWE Network, for goodness sakes, and he was watching all those classic cruiserweight fights. But I'm sorry, I just had to go on about that. That was just absolutely phenomenal. And that was to me that one spot alone. I told Bullock this. That one spot alone made this fight better than last week right there. Some good action throughout. I hated the double countout finish. If it wasn't for that double countout finish, I would have given this a solid 2.5 stars, honestly. But I gotta take a little bit of some points away some style points away because of that double countout. 2.25 stars, and I guess Rusev is back to being that monster badass heel that he once was. And Lana faked the leg injury. We all thought that Ryback unintentionally ran over her, or inadvertently ran over her. A lot like what we saw with the Big Show and AJ Lee a few years ago, which caused Daniel Bryan to snap, and that pretty much cemented Daniel Bryan's heel turn at that particular moment. But it turned out it was a ruse, and Lana faked it, and Rusev locks in the accolade on Ryback outside the ring, thus causing the double countout. So I think this feud is far from over, and I wouldn't be surprised if we end up getting another match with these two at TLC. That's just my thoughts. So 2.5 stars without the double countout, but because of the double countout, I gotta bump it down to 2.25 at best. So Michael Bullock, your thoughts on Rusev and Ryback, including that Ryback cruiserweight spot, which Byron Saxton, if you heard him on commentary, it caused him to call Ryback flyback, for goodness sakes.
Wow. Now I've heard it all. But yeah, 2 to 2.25 stars is my rating for the match. Yeah, I mean this was far and away better than the match they had last week when of course the Ryback won via countout, and it was a real short match. I mean, and yeah, we actually saw Ryback fly over the top rope. I never would have thought we see a big guy like Ryback with a move like that. I mean, I was amazed. So yeah, so there's really nothing more to say. I mean, you pretty much touched on everything. So 2 to 2.25 stars. So with that being said, Florio, let's move on to our next match.
Yeah. Next match here on the Wrestling Forum. Well, we had a match with Jack Swagger. Well, actually, believe it or not, this is something rare, folks. This is something that usually never happens. This match was actually joined in commercial break. So go figure that. It was Jack Swagger one-on-one with Stardust. I don't have a time of the fall, but I do know Jack Swagger won the match via the Patriot Lock. I could probably only give it 1 star for the effort. I think solid. I think more like half to 1 star for the effort. Although you can make an argument that it was an absolute dud, and you can probably make an argument that it was the worst fight of the night. But I tell you what, even though the match didn't really wow us, I have to admit we got a nice little bit of payback, or I should say, a post match. The post match I thought was a lot better because outcomes. Well, Alberto Del Rio got involved. He tried to get involved during the match, but Del Rio, or I should say, but Swagger still won the match via the Patriot Lock, and then in comes Alberto Del Rio, hits him with a chair, and then he takes out Stardust, and then Titus O'Neil is out there as well, and then Jack Swagger gets in the face of, and then we had a little bit of some dueling chairs, like Michael Bullock said. We had some dueling chairs during this, and then Swagger would then end up getting in the face of Zeb Coulter, and saying, "Hey, how could you go with Del Rio? I mean, do you remember We the People? You were supposed to be my mentor." And everything else, and then you turned your back on me for what? And you're signing with the man that we campaigned against 2 years ago, pretty much. That's pretty much what he was saying. And then Del Rio stumbles and trips over Zeb Coulter's little motor scooter thing there, and then it causes Alberto Del Rio to blow up at Zeb Coulter in the backstage. And he basically kicks Zeb Coulter to the curb. So we now know at TLC it's going to be Alberto Del Rio defending the United States Heavyweight Championship against Jack Swagger, and what I'm going to guess is going to be a chairs match, which makes sense given the two guys involved. I mean, you find those, middle to lower card guys, and you put them in, the most boring of the three TLC of the tables, ladders, and chairs stipulation. I mean, it's going to be we got a steel chair match, so United States Heavyweight Championship will be on the line. My guess is Del Rio goes over. That's pretty much a certain. That's pretty much a given. But the question now is, the $1 million question is, now that Del Rio kicked Coulter to the curb, could we possibly see a reuniting of the Real Americans? Could we see Zeb Coulter and Jack Swagger reconnect or reunite again? That certainly is a possibility. So, and I'll say it like this: I'll give you an early projection when it comes to this weekend when we do our TLC preview show. Zeb Coulter, I think, could be a wild card in this United States Heavyweight Championship chairs match with Jack Swagger and Alberto Del Rio. You heard that here first. I'll go more. I'll be happy to elaborate a great deal more on Saturday night when we do our TLC preview. So that's all there is to say on that. Half to 1 star. I could probably say second worst fight of the night. I thought there was one that was kind of worse than this, even though the guy who was in it I'm very high on. So that's all I can say. So half to 1 star, second worst fight of the night. look for a chairs match with Swagger and Del Rio for the U.S. title at TLC with Coulter as the wild card. How about it, Michael Bullock?
Yeah, half to 1 star for the effort. I mean, really, really wasn't impressed with this match at all. Way too short for my liking. Yeah, of course. After that, like you said, Del Rio coming in with the with the and with a chair and basically smacks him with it, and then Del Rio basically hits Stardust in the midsection, and then the back with the chair, and then of course here comes Jack Swagger. I mean, he has a chair of his own, and then they both smack each other's chair, and then Del Rio basically trips over Zeb Coulter and then heads to the back, and yeah, and basically Zeb and Swagger had a little confrontation, and then Zeb basically was done, and then there was a heated exchange, of course, with Del Rio and Zeb Coulter, and Del Rio saying he's done with him. So, and yes, I can say it is official. It'll be Alberto Del Rio defending the U.S. Championship against Jack Swagger, and it will be in a chairs match. And I do agree. I think Zeb Coulter is going to be the wild card in this match. So we'll wait and see how everything goes. So half to 1 star. Fletcher, I give it to you.
Yeah, I agree with the sentiment. I could only give this, I can only give this about, a half a star, to say the very least. I mean, it was all right for what it was worth, but it was it was there. It was a blah moment. I didn't really see much excitement over it, so um, no big deal for me. Nothing else to say. So let's move on.
Next up here on the Wrestling Forum, we had ourselves a one-on-one match. It was Tommy Dreamer, accompanied by the Dudley Boys and Rhino, going up against Wyatt family member Braun Strowman, of course, accompanied by his Wyatt family brothers. Winner of the match in 2 minutes and 45 seconds. No big surprise. It was Braun Strowman via that submission hold, where he squeezes the life out of you. So, let me see. It's Bullock who leads off on this one, correct?
Yeah, it's me.
Yep. Yeah, this is one of those I don't envy you moments here, bud. So, Strowman and Tommy Dreamer, your thoughts on this?
And don't forget something else.
Yep. The infamous Michael Bullock, I Can't Take It face, makes an appearance here on the Wrestling Forum. No big surprise. And if we see that, you know what this means, don't we?
Yeah.
What does it mean?
Yeah. D-U-D dud. This was the worst fight of the night. I mean, this was a complete total squash here. I mean, but once again, I mean, this is how. I've been real. This is why Anthony Florio's been high on Braun Strowman, and I mean, he's so. So big, and he just. He basically went to work on Tommy Dreamer, and basically it was over just like that. So yeah, so. And then, of course, there's the announcement that we're going to have ourselves an 8-man tag team table match at TLC with the Dudley Boys, Tommy Dreamer, and Rhino going up against the Wyatt family. So it'll be very interesting to see what happens in this match, especially how the heck are you going to put Braun Strowman through a table? So, yeah, so match was a dud, so really got nothing more to say. Fletcher, I give it to you. I'm not going to waste any more time on this.
This is one of the rare times where I'm with Bullock. Dud, worst fight of the night. Florio, go.
We're all in agreement here. This was an absolute dud. It was the worst fight of the night, but guys, how about it? TLC, 8-man, elimination rules tables match. I mean, this is like straight out of Survivor Series 2002 when we saw Bubba Dudley, Spike Dudley, and Jeff Hardy when they went up against the 3-minute warning. You know, Rico Costantino and Rosie and Jamal. Of course, Umaga was one of those guys, and of course, no longer with us. The other day marked 6 years since his passing. I mean, unbelievable. But nonetheless, the Wyatts against the Dudleys, Dreamer and Rhino, 8-man elimination rules tables match. Oh boy, that's got potential to be something really special. And who knows, Fletch? Maybe we could have some flashbacks to the old ECW during that fight. I know how much you would love that, you and Derek Ferreira. So, absolute dud, worst fight of the night. We're not going to waste any more time. So with that said, main event. We had the segment. It was an in-ring segment. We had Roman Reigns interrupted, of course, by the WWE World Heavyweight Champion Sheamus. They basically, exchange some words, and then they have a brawl. So, Michael Fletcher, I ask you, as you lead off on this segment, this final segment, Roman Reigns, Sheamus, did it raise your level of excitement for Sunday, or did it decrease it, or how did you feel overall about this main event segment with Reigns and Sheamus leading into their huge match on Sunday night?
Oh, this was great. I really thought they did an absolute job. The one thing a lot of people are slamming about the segment, Roman, what are you doing, man? I mean, promo-wise, you need work. You need work, Roman. I mean, some moments you're really, really good. Other moments you're really, really bad. That's the only thing that holds him down from being a true main eventer, being a world champion. He cannot be that, when he was in the Shield, he had those little blips, these little moments here and there, because he didn't need to be the mouthpiece. The guys who were talkers were Seth Rollins, Dean Ambrose. Roman had his cutesy little moments, more flirtatious moments with Renee Young, but still, I mean, Roman couldn't do any wrong. I mean, for heaven's sake, I mean, all the women around the world was falling in love with Roman Reigns. I mean, every time Roman started playing started doing his little shtick, the women just went absolutely bonkers for him. So, I mean, Roman tried to cut a promo this time around, and I don't know, it didn't deliver. I didn't feel it. When Sheamus came out, the moment got better, and then the brawl was awesome. So, I mean, it didn't give no advantage to either man. It didn't give no advantage to anybody in that. So at the end of the day, I enjoyed it. I loved it. I thought it was amazing. Well done by everybody involved. Anthony, it's yours.
All right. Very good segment. I agree with you. I mean, the verbal exchange was good. I mean, yeah, I do agree. Roman was cringeworthy with the promo there. I definitely agree. But the one thing I liked about it, the tater tot thing, that was funny. I mean, you got to admit, that was pretty funny. I mean, the tater tot there, I kind of thought that was pretty funny there. But it was a good verbal exchange. I liked the brawl better. The brawl was fun. That's all I can say about it. That's just an example of what we're going to get on Sunday night when these two throw down in tables, ladders, and chairs, oh my, for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship, which don't be surprised if Sheamus goes over. That's all I can say about that. I think they're going to keep that thing on Sheamus for a while. I wouldn't be surprised if they have him hold it until Mania, for goodness sakes. And maybe Roman wins it there. I mean, we'll have to wait and see on that. But for right now, another one of the segments of the night. I know a lot of people didn't like the segment. I know Jason Powell, our friend for ProWrestling.net, he slammed the segment. He absolutely hated it. And I know Derek even ripped it. But the thing is, I mean, we thought it was an enjoyable segment. That's all I can say about it. I mean, the promo exchange was fine. But the thing is, the post-match brawl, when they went at it, that was fun. And if they do that on Sunday night, we could be looking at another top fight of the night candidate for sure. That's all there is to say on that. So my excitement level went up a bit, went up a notch. That's all I can say. So another well done segment, another one of the segments of the night. A strong way to close out what I thought was, a much better edition of Monday Night Raw, unlike the crap fest we got the last 2 weeks. So, Michael Bullock, your thoughts on this main event segment?
Yeah, I thought it was a very good segment. Yeah, I mean Roman Reigns. I mean, he did look a little cringeworthy, and and I do agree. There are times his mic work is good, and there are other times it needs some work. So you gotta work on it a little bit, Roman. But I did like the exchange with him and Sheamus, and then of course, they had that brawl afterwards, and of course, ending with Roman Reigns spearing Sheamus through the table. So, yeah, I actually am. I'm actually looking forward to this match. Whether it'll be good, we'll just have to wait and see. So very good segment to close out, which I thought was a much better Raw than last week. So, with that being said, overall thoughts time.
Overall thoughts, and I'm going to take this. I want to start this off. But besides, I think it's my turn to start it off anyway. So,
yeah, you're starting it off anyway.
All right, that works out great. So, much better show than the last 2 weeks. I mean, the last 2 weeks were absolutely brutal. I mean, 2 weeks ago we could understand because we were getting ready for the Thanksgiving holiday, and we were kind of expecting a throwaway show anyway. We did not expect last week to be as god-awful as it was. I mean, it was definitely far and away the worst show of the year. Major bounce back here tonight. I'm going to give this between 7 to 7.5 out of 10 for the effort tonight. I mean, Kevin Owens and Dolph Ziggler stole the show as the fight of the night. That 16-man, 4-way elimination match, very close second as far as the fights of the night are concerned. You had a couple of other solid matchups. Ryback and Rusev, definitely the sleeper fight of the night, despite the double count-out finish. I remember there was another solid 2-star fight. Oh yeah, I believe it was with the New Day and the Luchas. I thought they had a solid tag team match. Throw in a decent Divas tag match with Sasha Banks and Naomi against Brie Bella and Alicia Fox. You had some good. Every in-ring segment was good. The opening segment with all the chaos during that Miz TV segment with Charlotte, Ric Flair, and the Miz, and then Paige getting involved. That was well done, fantastic. And then of course that main event segment. The brawl was better than the verbal exchange, even though the verbal exchange was fine. So yeah. I think I'm going to give this a straight-up solid 7.5 out of 10 for the effort. I mean, a much better show than what I've seen the last couple of weeks. So, a very good go-home show. WWE absolutely needed to wake the F up, and they clearly did that tonight. I know a lot of people may disagree with me on this, but it's my opinion. It's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Contrary to what, all the other, reviewers out there like Jason Powell or all the others, have to say about it. So, my story. I'm sticking to it. So, if you agree with me, great. If you disagree, that's fine too. I value all your opinions out there. I really do. So, 7.5, solid 7.5 out of 10. Much better show than the last two weeks of Raws. Both of them were crap. Especially last week. That was a steaming hot pile of it. So with all that said, Michael Bullock, do you agree with me, or did you think the show? I mean, how did you feel about, this?
I thought it was a good show. Unlike what other people are saying, I'm going to say somewhere between 7 to 7.5 out of 10. So Yeah, I mean, I thought everything was good. Yeah, the only ones I didn't like were the of course the worst match of the night being Jack Swagger and Stardust, and the other match that was the second worst fight of the night. But other than that, everything else I thought was good to great. So yeah, of course, people are probably wondering talking about Jason Paul and Derek Ferrera's review. Well, here's what Jason Paul's review said. This was a terrible show. I like that they tried something new to start the show, even though what they didn't really do, but they really didn't do much for me. But the booking just continues to be a combination of confusing or com- comedic or just plain lousy. WWE is in a place right now. It's not going to change overnight because they are relying mostly on wrestlers who were damaged because of their own parody booking. I would be understanding if the creative was good and it was just taking time for them to establish or reestablish some of these wrestlers, but that's just not the case. There's no light at the end of this tunnel. Now, as far as Derek's review says, the huge 16-man match in the opener was fun, but made the rest of the show suffer. Their lack of talent, lack of will to push new talent was shown in a glaring light, with their need to reuse the talent they had already blown on that huge match. Ziggler Owens was some great stuff too. The few seconds of Team Bad New Day interact the best part of the show, hands down. Two of the best things about Raw in one segment. I don't think I could even touch on the ending segment. It needs to be seen to be believed. Whoever wrote that segment needs to be forcibly removed from creative and thrown out of the building. That did nothing for either guy and made them both look like trash. The ending brawl was not enough to redeem it at all. I mean, where was the League of Nations that they've been trying to make a thing for the past week? I don't get it. So, man, both of them really trashing this edition of Raw, but you know what? It's their opinion, and everybody's entitled to their opinion. So 7 to 7 out of 10. I thought it was a good show. So Fletcher, question I gotta ask you: do you agree with me and Florio, or what are your thoughts on it?
I thought it was an okay Monday Night Raw. I'm not jumping up and down and saying, "Oh, this was a great show." Um, I thought the first hour they absolutely nailed it. I mean, it was a major home run, at least in my eyes. It did kind of start going down a little bit, but I thought they did a solid job for the most part. I think my rating is gonna be a little lower, not by much, but I could say 6.5 to 7 is my rating for Monday Night Raw. Like I said, it was good, not great. It was solid in some areas, could have been a little better in others, but it was far and away better than the garbage we were getting for the last 2 weeks. They definitely turned it up and at least got better, but still they still need a lot to work on. So let's just say like that. But 6.5 to 7 out of 10 is my rating. So guys, it's time for the shout outs.
And Michael Bullock, you started off.
All right. Of course, we want to thank you all so very much for tuning in for another edition of the Wrestling Forum on this Monday night. So, yes, of course, shout outs to all of our tremendous fans and viewers out there who continue to support our shows, whether it's this or Strictly Sports. It doesn't matter. We really appreciate it. And, of course, shout outs to all of our super fans, starting with Dee Dee Woodson, Kevin Woodson, and the rest of the Woodson family. Hopefully they're enjoying themselves as they get ready for the Christmas season, as it's already underway. And of course, also shout out to our other super fans, Matt Ward and Jason Hixenbaugh, and of course to all of our friends from our high school days: Al Brederson, Jimmy Alden, Rob Parsons, Eric Carrier, Tom Souza, the First Lady of the Wrestling Forum, Megan Silva, the First Lady of Strictly Sports, Kaisa Butler, to Derek Ferrera, who with this continued success on the sports blog, and if you haven't seen it, you definitely got to check it out right now. So yeah, that's gonna do it for me. I'll save the rest of my shout outs for Florio. What are we doing? Are we doing our NFL show? When are we doing it?
I haven't heard anything from. I haven't really, asked Derek about that, but I'm guessing it's still Friday night. We're gonna have to talk to Derek about that.
All right, so until I'll save the rest of my shout outs for NFL Friday. So until then, this is the Phenom Mike Bullock saying thank you all so much for listening to us. And of course, you know the routine. Thumbs up. Talk to you later. Yeah, the road to Fortune 4 style. Bye for now. Enjoy the rest of your week, everybody. So, Fletcher, I give it to you.
Yes, yes, indeed. First off, I want to say thank you to all the great fans out there who continues to support the wrestling forum, Strictly Sports, and not only that, but all the others, all the other programs, either on the Tone 25, the the sports blog, my channel. You guys are greatly appreciated. You guys already know you guys are the best in the world. Uh, as always, special shout outs to all my great friends from the junior high and high school days. You guys already know who you are. Special shout outs to the super fans out there. You guys know who you guys are. To my 2184 crew, love you guys. It's been a crazy few days, to say the very least. So much love to you guys, and of course to to all my friends from the Renegade Wrestling Alliance, the guys who were there for me, who let me witness Christmas Chaos as well. So much love to you guys, and it's 12:44 Eastern Time. Florio, I think a knucklehead around here has a birthday right now. It's going down at this very hour, if you know what I mean.
Well, mine was for. Oh, you're talking about the other guy. Okay.
I'm talking about the other guy. I'm
Having
talking
fun.
about. I'm
Having
talking.
fun, you know that.
Yeah,
Um,
some phenom around here that basically thought we were gonna let you get away unscathed. I don't think so.
I wanted to set it.
An
I wanted to
RK,
set that up.
an
I wanted to set
RKO
that up.
for the Nomar, and now I'll let it ridiculously go. Yes, 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 all over your head. Happy birthday, you knucklehead.
Thank you, Fletch.
All right.
Mike Fletcher, other hand pounds. I'm out. Good night, Floyo. Take it home.
We'll do Michael Fletcher, and I just messaged Derek Ferreira. In case you were wondering, the NFL show is still on Friday nights, just to let you all know. So I hope that's still good for you guys. So because as we all know, college football
Fine for
Thursday.
me.
What's that?
I said fine for me.
Okay, good. I just wanted to be sure on that. Okay. So that's that. Of course, we want to thank you all so very much for tuning in. As always, special shout out to all of our tremendous fans and viewers out there who continue to make the Wrestling Forum, as well as Strictly Sports, whether it was College Football Thursday or NFL Friday. It's ridiculously over as they are. We appreciate it as always. We had our season finale of College Football Thursday this past Thursday. We want to thank you all so much once again for tuning into the College Football Show all season long. We had a lot of fun doing it. We had a blast doing it. We can't wait to do it again next year. And unfortunately, we were unable to do an NFL Friday show this past Friday night. For two reasons. One, most importantly, of course, both Michael Fletcher and Michael Bullock both had work commitments beyond their control. So we felt that it was in the best interest to cancel the show this past Friday night, even though it broke my heart to do so, because you know how much we love doing the show. But it is what it is there. And then the other reason why we canceled the show, well, for the first time in a long time, the three of us were in the same room together at TGI Fridays this past Friday night, an early birthday celebration for Mr. Bullock. Indeed, I'll get into that in just a moment. But the three of us, along with Mr. Bullock's girlfriend Mary Ellen Powers and Bullock's sister Jess, Jess's boyfriend, and our good friend Kevin Dexter, the brothers Keenan, Mike, and Brian, and and a couple of other friends, all of us. We had a great night, to say the very least. It was a fun night, a long night, but it was a worthwhile night, to say the very least. We threw it up Fortune 4 style. I wish Derek Ferreira could have been there with us, but Derek had other plans, not a problem. But I have faith that one day, the three of us and Derek Ferreira will all be in the same room, and if we do, oh boy, will we be throwing it up Fortune 4 style and having a ball like we did this past Friday night. So the work commitments and, of course, the long night we had at TGI Fridays, those were the two main reasons why we had no choice but to cancel the NFL show this past Friday night. Hopefully that will not be the case again this Friday night. Hopefully we'll be able to do it this time, because we got some big-time matchups coming up, and I'll get into that in just a moment. But getting back to the shout-outs, of course, our special shout-outs, our super fans, Dee Dee Woodson, Kevin Woodson, and the entire Woodson family, Matt Ward, Jason Hixenbaugh, Daniel Luttrell from the UK. We just lost Michael Fletcher. He probably had to leave. So yes. Daniel Luttrell from the UK. Of course, our friends from our school days, Tommy Souza, Eric Carrier, Jimmy Alden, Albertoson, Rob Parsons, Megan Silva, Kaiser Butler. Of course, our hardcore pipe bomb, Derek Ferreira. We wish him continued success with the sports blog. And, of course, shout out to Michael Fletcher. Fantastic job, as always. And last but certainly not least, Bullock, you knew I was going to be doing this. I'm going to go PTI style on this one. Happy 31st birthday to the one and only Mr. Michael Bullock, our resident phenom. I mean, what else is there?
Thank you, Florio.
Yeah, you know it, man. I mean, let me tell you, I've known this guy for 25 years. Out of all my friends, he is far and away the one I've known the longest. I mean, we've had so much fun, up and down the road. Our days in Meadowcrest Elementary School for a good few years, about 2.5 to 3 years, and then we got separated because they transferred me to another school. He stayed there for another few years. I had to they transferred me to another school. We lost touch for about 4 years or so, and then we finally reconnected in the fall of 1997 when he joined me and Michael Fletcher at Riverside Junior High, which is now Riverside Middle School. Did that for a couple of years, and then got separated again for a year, and then we reunited yet one more time at East Providence High School, and then we lost touch. And then after I graduated, we lost touch for several years, but then we finally reconnected on Christmas night, 2010. And on Facebook, power of Facebook friends. That's all there is to say on that. You know that story. And then we've had some back and forth chats, and then we finally officially reconnected the night Michael Bullock joined our panel on the Wrestling Forum, became the newest member of our panel. Because you remember when this show started, it was only me, Michael Fletcher, and Derek Ferreira, with Derek Ferreira as the host, obviously. For the first, I want to say, month and a half, and then it was about 2 weeks before WrestleMania 28 when Michael Bullock joined us as our newest panelist, and that first night, we'll never forget it. It'll go down maybe as the greatest Wrestling Forum show of all time. Your first night, Bullock. I mean, I remember like it was just yesterday, all the fun and chaos we had on that, and then all these shows over the last 3+ years. Whether it was controversial arguments, funny memes from Mimi Jean Okerlund, which is going to be relaunching soon. Early present from Michael Bullock, because we all know how much we love the Mimi Jean site. So it's awesome to have Mimi Jean back up and running. We cannot wait to have that. And once it's back up and running, oh yes, we will go Mimi crazy. And you can believe that. Believe that. We're going to go Mimi crazy like we've never gone Mimi crazy before. Believe me. So we're going to have a lot of fun with that. But nonetheless, Michael Bullock, I mean, 25 years, man. I mean, most folks' marriages don't last 25 years nowadays. But nonetheless, it's been an honor and a pleasure, my man. I consider you like a younger brother, man, because I am a year and change older than you. I mean, we've been up and down the road from elementary to junior high to high school, even though I graduated a year ahead of you, and reconnecting. And we've been having a lot more fun nowadays, with with our afternoon drives, and I cannot tell you how much of a humongous help you have been with me for me towards that. Whether it was to or from the office there, you've been a humongous help. I cannot tell you beyond words. So 25 years, my man. And here's to 25 more. That's all there is to say about that. So, but it's not just your birthday, man. It's also you and your sister Jess share a birthday together, and we celebrated that this past Friday night at TGI Fridays, an early birthday celebration. And you also had a special moment with your lady there on Sunday. So so that's all there is to it, my man. And I know on behalf of all of us here at the Wrestling Forum, on behalf of myself, Michael Fletcher, Derek Ferreira, and all the men and women behind the scenes, we love you, we appreciate you, and I tell you, man, here's to more fun. That's all there is to say about that. So, and it's been an absolute honor, man. And of course, the Phenom. I mean, I can honestly say you are the Ricky the Dragon Steamboat to my Ric Flair, because they complemented each other so great. So that's all there is to say about that. And also, I can honestly say you're also the Undertaker to my Shawn Michaels. So just absolutely fantastic. So I hope you and yours have a very, very blessed day. Same for Jess. And I know you and Jess and the folks have something very special planned today. So
we actually, me, my sister, and my family, we're actually going to go to Olive Garden for dinner later on tonight.
Well, we hope you all have a great night on that, and it was wonderful. It was wonderful having seeing you and Fletch this past Friday night, and I know we'll definitely be doing that again in the very near future, and you can definitely believe that too. So it was wonderful to meet Mary Ellen, and also wonderful to see Jess again and Kevin again, and to meet all those other friends of yours. So it was absolutely fantastic, and needless to say, this past Friday night will go down as one of the many nights in my life that will never leave my heart anytime soon. Believe that. So, so my man, enjoy it. I hope I'll see you later on, and that's it. So
I'll definitely see you this afternoon.
All right. So I know we'll get into that a little bit more in just a moment when we have our little behind the scenes snafu there. So so that will do it, of course. So very special happy birthday to Michael Bullock indeed, on behalf of all of us here at the Wrestling Forum and Strictly Sports, and we're hoping for a blessed day for you, man. That's all there is to it, because you're the best, man. We love you. So that's it for that. So of course, College Football Thursday's done. It's by the wayside. So we hope you all enjoyed that show. So we'll next see you on Friday night at 10:30. Of course, NFL Friday. We get into Week 14 and some great matchups. Of course, the two big ones in the AFC. Of course, the Pittsburgh Steelers against the Cincinnati Bengals. Cannot wait to get into that. And of course, the game that I know Michael Bullock has the vested interest in, his team, the New England Patriots, going up against the Houston Texans on Sunday Night Football. So those are the two standout games right there. But there are others. But don't worry, we'll get into all that and power rankings. And, oh, yes, there will be some major shakeups. That's it. So, and then Saturday night, we don't time to be determined. Probably, I don't know. We'll have to see what Mr. Bullock's up to on Saturday night. But I'm sure sometime Saturday night, Bullock and I will be back with you for our TLC, our Tables, Ladders, and Chairs preview edition of the Wrestling Forum, as we break down every nook and cranny of the TLC card. We'll give our thoughts on who we think will win, our thoughts on how we think the matches will go, our overall thoughts on our projections for the event. So, and then Sunday night, the recap of TLC on Michael Fletcher's channel, Braves Fan 95. As of now, hopefully that's still the case. If not, I'll be more than happy to fill in if I have to, like I did when we did Survivor Series. So that's pretty much it. So I'll put the ball on this edition of the Wrestling Forum. Thank you all again so very much for tuning in. And until Friday night for our newest installment of NFL Friday, you've been watching the Wrestling Forum right here on the Tone 25 on YouTube.com. Ridiculously over Anthony Florio, for the Phenom Michael Bullock, and in spirit, the Hardcore Pipe on Derek Ferreira, and the Cerebral Viper Michael Fletcher, saying, you know the routine, everybody. Thumbs up. Talk to you later. Yeah. throw it up Fortune Force style. Have a great rest of the week, everybody. And until Friday night for NFL Friday, like I said, you've been watching the Wrestling Forum right here on the Zone 25 on YouTube.com. Bye for now, my friends. God bless. Be good to each other. And remember, wrestling is indeed actually real. For now, Anthony Florio, so long.